here on the morning show. What are you guys toking on? I'm gonna have another hoot here myself because, man, we were gonna kind of tie this one together.
Yeah, so
Nate, go
speaking
ahead.
of hoots,
Go ahead.
fucking Nate Diaz, man. Your stoner's favorite fighter. Your favorite stoner's favorite fighter. That's what I meant. So he is trying to get out of his UFC contract. He has been for a while. He's been for a
For
while,
like his career, it feels
like his
like.
whole career. Well, to be fair, when he first started, he's got a shitty manager. He's got a
Yeah.
real shitty manager, and his manager he was getting paid 20,000 to show or 12,000 to show up, 12,000 to win
That's
for a
fucked.
long time.
Yep, that's fucked.
So he's fighting people who are getting paid 3 times
He's
as much as him.
he's fighting for free, is what's
Damn
happening.
near, because I mean, you gotta think about the taxes. He's a contracted employee, so he's paying more. He's 1099. The insurance at the time was non-existent. He's paying 30% to his gym. He's got travel fees. He's got
Yep.
nutrition, his own
Family.
weed, family. So, yeah, I mean, he's not making much money at all. So
Nope.
then fast forward to after he fought, Conor McGregor, he's making, millions of dollars, which is great. It's great.
Yep.
But not per fight, per se. It's only when he's fighting someone like Conor McGregor he's getting millions of dollars. So now he's trying to get out of his contract. He's been turning fights down left and right, not trying to fight unless it's Kamaru Usman, the champion, which he's real high, obviously.
Even on paper, that doesn't. You can't just. That's like the epitome of the problem with the UFC is guys coming in and being like, I'm fighting the champion. No, you got to fucking earn it, bro.
Yeah, you
got to
gotta
start at the
win.
bottom and you got to work your way to the top. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, Mr. Diaz, you're not at the top. So
No,
it's like,
in
there's some
terms
work
of
to do.
popularity,
Well,
if
celebrity style, sure,
Yeah.
sure. I'm talking about talent, or not even talent. I'm talking about skill in today's
ranking
game.
and yeah.
Skill in today's game and your ranking as an athlete. It's just today the skill is much higher than it was when he was in the ring, and I'm not and we're not talking shit to his career. He's had an amazing career. He's done some incredible things. But the reality is that he's asking for a lot.
Yeah. Well, and he's 20 and
But
13. He hasn't looked good in his last few fights. He looked good. He had a couple shining moments in that Leon Edwards fight, and he didn't capitalize on it. Now he's trying to get a release of his contract from the UFC, and he wants to box Jake fucking Paul. And I know people are gonna be like, yeah, right, Rob. I think Jake Paul knocks him the fuck out. TKO.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree either, to be totally honest with you.
Nate Diaz is not a great boxer. I don't know. The Diaz brothers are unorthodox strikers. Unorthodox striking is good. Okay, it's gonna do very well even in regular boxing. Look at Deontay Wilder. Look how many wins he got, But technique is a different thing. And honestly, the way that he throws his punches versus the way somebody who's got tighter strikes, even like Jake fucking Paul, which I hate to say that, I think he'll get starched, man.
Yeah, I think
MMA
you're
is
right.
different, but boxing.
Now the thing is though, is that if he's in this for the money, that's the money fight. That's the money fight. Win or lose, he's raking in a couple million.
He's probably going to get $6 to $10 billion.
Yeah. So that's the fight he should be taking, to be totally honest with you. And should he win, because everyone's got a striker's chance.
Man,
I
I
don't
hope
care
he
what you
does.
say. That would be pretty rejuvenating to the Diaz name, which is wild to say. You're knocking out a fucking YouTuber and you want to put your name on the map again. You got to knock him out.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's the celebrity boxing shit's doing well, and I think the biggest issue with more of the UFC situation is the contracts. So like Bellator, for example, they're letting Michael Page, who's a top-notch dude, come into bare knuckle boxing to box Mike Perry. Totally different organization, totally different style of everything, and he's contracted with Bellator, but they just want to see big fights. They do shit with Risen, they do shit with LFA, other organizations. UFC is the only one that they're like, no. But back in the day, UFC said, well, we could do that. Let's collaborate. So they sent Chuck Liddell over to Pride Fighting. That'd be a good idea. We'll do this.
Yeah.
In the height of his career. And he got knocked the fuck out.
That
He got his
sucks.
ass beat.
Yeah, that sucks.
And I think they realized they're like, if we do this, this is going to hurt our organization. If our guys lose, they come back here and the energy to sell a fight is diminished substantially because now they just got starched in some other organization.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like they just don't allow it. Exactly.
By who? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Nothing there. No, it's unfortunate. But you know what? I am a Diaz, old school Diaz fan. I know you are too.
Fuck yeah.
Regardless of what we're going to say here. I hope it works out for him, man, because it's like he's one of the OGs that managed to make it and during a time where it's like you were not getting paid to fight. I don't care how many thousands of dollars that you got to get your fucking head caved in, but it's like it was not enough money. The early years of the UFC, people were not making money. There's no question about it.
No.
And yeah, the managers are pieces of shit because they should be the ones that are fighting for the fighters to get that for the contracts, right? To get that money. And that wasn't happening. So it's like there's that the place in your heart that just like Diaz, he's like that the underdog, it's like that
He's
I
the
want
people's
him
champ,
to
man.
make it. I want him to get on top. I want him to have that final aha, you know what I mean? And it might just be a win over Logan Paul in the
Jake Paul,
in a
but yeah,
boxing
see, my thing is
or
he
Jake, yeah,
allegedly he was
fucking
offered
losers.
the trilogy fight with McGregor. That's the only fight I give a shit to see from either of those guys and then retire. Like, that's what should be happening. Jake Paul should be focused on boxers, and
Right.
allegedly, he is. Supposedly, he's trying to fight Tyson, and Tyson says he wants to make it happen this year. He says, "Let's do it. Fuck it. Give the kid his credit. Let's make it happen." And I don't like that one either, man. I know Tyson's look
No.
great, but it's like fucking Jake's like 20 some years old, man.
20 years old, but then again, it's like this is kind of like the Mayweather argument. It's like the name's already been made. You can't lose. Like you're not gonna lose in
Well, but
terms of.
if Mike Tyson gets knocked out by Jake Paul, let's just say hypothetically, because Tyson's chin
Let's say
isn't
it. Yep.
he's been
Yep.
beat plenty of times.
I
Okay.
I don't see it going wrong for Mike.
I don't, but I'm just saying hypothetically, why risk your and see that's the problem is then you're a bitch if you don't do it. But why risk your legacy boxing some fucking YouTube kid who's on the rise, who literally has all the natural gifts to
You're talking about
do it?
you're talking about an individual who is very clearly mentally damaged from his career in boxing. So
He seems like he's
making
there now though. Like he seems like he's doing really well in his mind now.
Yes and no. Like yes and no. Like is he making the greatest decisions all the time? Do you think him going in the ring and having a bout with Jake Paul is the right, clear, clean, smart decision? I don't think so. So it's like this kind of leads into the argument that perhaps maybe, he's just it's like fuck it. He knows he lives once. It's like just give me some time. Throw me in front of the people. I'm a people's champ too,
Well,
So
seeing like I would say it's probably a money thing, but when he boxed Roy Jones, he donated all of his earnings.
right, right. I
So
don't see this as a money thing. I
yeah,
think
it
he's
just he
already
likes to
set.
box, man.
He
He
just
likes
likes to
to
give the people what they want. He likes to put on a
yeah,
show. He's a
and he looks
showman.
fucking good too,
He
man.
looks
Like
great.
if it does happen, trust me, I mean Tyson could easily starch this kid. It just comes down to
He
why.
would
Like
fold
I want to
him.
see him box against a real boxer.
But those
And
days are
Tyson
done.
is, but Tyson's an old retired
Yeah,
boxer.
but those days I think are done. I don't think we're gonna see like I don't know.
Or
Jake Paul could give him some damage. I'm not saying he wouldn't, but he's fighting a kid. You know what I mean? So he's like, just bring it.
but bro, why not even like another older cat who's currently boxing, who's doing pretty damn good? Anderson Silva.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, he
Oh
just fucking
fuck
beat the
though.
shit out of a dude on a, Mayweather's card, and then before
Yeah, but
that,
Andrews.
knocked out Tito, and then before that, beat Julio Cesar, Chavez Jr., who's
But
solid,
this
he's
is
not
why it's
great.
like he's a showman. He's a showman. It's like yes, Anderson Silva, but will millions and millions of people tune in to watch him bout Anderson
Oh,
Silva
they probably would, but Mike Tyson would be way more. This would be like the biggest sports fucking shit
of the
show in
two of
history.
them. Of
Yeah.
if it was Spider and
No, I mean, if
Tyson,
I think if it was Tyson versus, uh,
Jake.
Jake Paul, that would be about as big as Mayweather and McGregor.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
So that's my point. That's why I like it's a showman thing. It's not about money. It's not about like let's beat the greatest because his days of trying to beat the greatest are done. In my opinion, like in his own heart, I don't think he's really trying to beat the greatest anymore. I just think he's here to put on a show. You know what I mean?
100%. I just like old
So
guys
it's
boxing old guys, man, you
I
know?
totally agree, and I don't even like old guys fighting. When I had to watch, I feel like it was like it was like a cockfight. It was just nasty, It was like watching two
Yeah.
grandpas just slug at each other. When I had to watch Chuck Liddell
And
and Tito
Tito, let's not talk
Ortiz,
about that one. What
it
about
was
Roy Jones and fucking Tyson?
no,
That
see,
was a
that
good
was a
one.
good, that was
Yeah,
good,
that's
it
what
was
I'm
good,
saying.
it was good. I
That's what I'm
guess,
saying.
and they were older, and they're even
And see,
older.
2 old talented
But maybe
guys
that's the difference between the
boxing and
sports.
MMA though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's just these guys. There was nothing. They're just muscle and skin. These guys,
And
Tito and
honestly, man, boxing, they get paid so much more. They take care of themselves so much more in their body. You look at MMA, a lot of like Chuck Liddell, man. Watch some Chuck Liddell
right.
interviews, morning shows. That boy gets zooted on the cocaine and gets real
Yeah,
drunk.
yeah,
Like
pretty fucked
gone.
up. Pretty
Yeah.
fucked up. Yeah.
And
Yep.
Tito's had fucking prescription issues, like, a lot of these MMA fighters have had major surgeries and injuries versus boxers whose hands are the problems or their
Right.
knees.
Right.
That's it. The sweet science is you don't get hit, you hit without getting hit. In
Right.
MMA,
Right. Look at
you
Mayweather.
battle that shit out, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Those last you hear the clapping of the sticks and it's just like clack clack clack. 10
Yeah.
seconds left. What do? You
Like,
fucking
"Let's more here,
swing.
come
You
on." Yeah.
swing and you're bleeding from every orifice and you're going for more.
There's
That's the
only a
difference of the
handful of
game.
boxers that have that, like Arturo
Right.
Gatti, most of them are
Right.
dead or else they're handicapped,
What do you know? Yeah, exactly.
you
And
know?
that's the point. UFC fighters of yesterday versus boxers of yesterday and their ability to function today. Now, of course, you look at Ali. As he suffered from was it
Parkinson's.
Parkinson's? Yep.
Yeah.
That was not that's not is it can Parkinson's isn't linked to brain
They think it
damage.
was a little bit of punch drunk syndrome
Uh,
is what they're saying, yeah.
okay. I'm not sure. I don't know the correlation there, but
Yeah, he
so there's
fucking
a couple examples,
took some beatings.
but yeah. Did you ever watch Ali
The movie? Yeah, it
yeah,
was
was it
fucking
good?
great, man,
I want
yeah.
to That's one I want to see.
Will
Yeah,
Smith
that's one
did
I
a
want to see.
really good job in that one.
Yeah,
Where he
that's one I
learned the
want to see.
smack from.
That's right. I remember that. We watched that here, man. We watched
Yeah,
that here.
mhm.
I remember that.
Just a
Yeah, I
random
remember.
quick blip before we move on. You know
Yeah,
that
what you
dude who punched the punta last week?
Oh,
He actually
yeah.
is down to have a rematch with Tyson, which he didn't do good in their first fight, so I'm not sure
No.
why he
No,
wants to do
and
that.
so if you recall, we actually covered this earlier this week on Top Buds. The ex boxer Julius, what was the last name? Sorry,
Francis.
Julius Francis, knocked out that asshole. Now that's what we call him here in Canada. Uh, and now they're saying that the ex boxer is down to rematch Mike Tyson. And I'm thinking it's a lot easier to knock someone out in a street fight when he's
A
kind of not
small
expecting it.
random yeah.
Yeah, than to go up against my now again, it's the money, right? It's the money. He wants to be known, get a name on it. Like, come on, why wouldn't
He's a
he?
bouncer.
This fight would be the biggest fight of his career if he
Yeah.
did manage to take one against Mike Tyson again. Again. It's not the first
Yeah.
time he's fought him. Again.
Oh, that
So,
got the confidence booster with your IV
yeah.
after he fucking got the
Yeah.
knockout. He's like, "I still got hit.
I
I've
still
got
got
this
it. I
shit."
still got it. He didn't see it coming, bro.
You
You're,
know? It's like, yeah, he was half your
uh,
size, had no idea it was coming, and probably was drunk.
and was looking around at like seven other guys that were kind of doing this at him all too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and clearly the
So
guy wasn't a fighter in general. You don't just scream at a group of people and,
right,
you know.
and swing a little bit at everybody. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You commit. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, this is a fight that sure, I'll watch this. I'll bring this on. So yeah,
Honestly, man, if
why not?
Tyson fights any I've been a fucking like, when I was a kid, man, I cried when Tyson lost to Holyfield.
Mm,
When he bit his ear, like, I was happy as a kid. Like, I was a huge Tyson fan. When he went to wrestling and then punched fucking the Heartbreak Kid, yeah, your boy
ah,
has been an avid Tyson fan. It's unfortunate the shit he's done in his life on the personal side, that's a light way to put it, but I love to see his resurgence, you know what I'm saying? So if this old fat dude wants to come and get knocked out by Tyson, I'll watch
let's
it.
get it on.